rocpodcasts.com.
You are a striking disappointment.
Oh, it's so awful. You're going to love it.
Well, here they come again. They heard that things were happening. With mics in front of faces, their lips begin a flapping. They talk about world and local news reports, and even Steph Michaels, cause she's a doggy whore. Corey says, man, it's a goddamn joke. Corruption is abundant and the POTUS is a hoax. Stacy says, man, I'd like to act, but Americans are lazier than most, that's fact. So go get a bowl, a spoon, and some cereal, and sit your ass down, it's time for Air Rec Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and thank you for choosing Air Rec Radio. We'd like to apologize in advance if there's any inconvenience caused, but we're going down.
It is the 10th day of March in the year 2014. I'm Corey.
Hola, me llamo Esteban.
He is Esteban. And this is episode 43 of Air Rec Radio.
Yeah, that's 40 and Trace and Espanol. Just learned something on this show.
Oh, yeah, dropping some knowledge on you.
Sit tight, you're gonna learn a bunch more.
Oh,
Probably not. Maybe some.
I think we got lots of knowledge this
There
episode.
might actually be some learning stuff in this episode.
I think that's slowly become an evolution of the show.
Yeah.
That's a new goal of our show, I think, now.
Yeah.
Where I don't think that was set forth. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Set forth upon thee with great vengeance.
Damn. I don't think there was as much an original intention as it is something that we evolved into. But there will be some knowledge dropping.
What do you have, a text message?
Well, yes, I have a text
What are you
message.
doing?
I'm pulling up information that I don't have memorized. And instead of just going with the flow and continuing to talk, you had to point out the fact that I was fiddling with my phone.
Well, it's rude. You're in company, sir.
Go fuck yourself.
That's rude too, Corey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not really. Big announcements. Big announcements to be made.
Ooh, I like
huge
announcements.
things. Instead of plugging 30 things,
Yeah.
we're just gonna plug one for a long time.
Yeah,
How's that
we're gonna
sound?
plug one thing 30 times.
Because,
Like a Dutch boy in a dike.
you know, I don't think it's politically correct to call them dikes anymore, Stace.
A dam? Oh, no, I'm
okay.
swearing.
Oh.
There's kids here.
Put a coin in the swear jar.
No.
No. Oh, you're a cheap bastard. Can't
Yep.
put a coin in the coin jar?
I got no coins, man.
All right. Anyways, big announcement. We have received our schedules.
Ooh, I like schedules. Nothing turns me on quite like paperwork.
For the ROC Podfest. ROC Podfest at the Record Archive, March 28th and 29th.
The Record Archive is the place to go for Podfest.
That's what the commercials tell me.
Yep.
And we need all of the rec heads and loyal listeners and everybody we beg that we know to pile down and cram into the space.
Yeah, folks, if you like our podcast, come to our show. If you don't like our podcast, come to our show
and tell us why.
And kick our asses. And just a reminder, you are now listening to Second Prince.
Whatever, who cares?
So the schedule goes that Friday night the event will kick off at 6 p.m. and go till 9.
And you will have all of your favorite podcasts represented in 15-minute blocks till 8 o'clock?
Yes. And
then,
among your favorite podcasts, in fact, in addition to your favorite podcasts, will be Airrec Radio on Friday night.
Yes. And then the event, and you'll have podcasts leading up to the headliner, and the headliner for Friday night is who?
Straight from the Underground 2.0, the biggest contributor to the ROC podcast. Folks, if you like hip-hop from the Underground, you're going to like Straight from the Underground. I hear he's straight from the Underground.
I heard he's straight up from the underground, yo.
Yeah. Ew. You made it dirty. The underground?
That's only because I was taking my pants off while I did it.
The underground sounds like that butt scoot you do when you didn't wipe well enough.
When your anal glands are impacted.
Folks, please hang in there. Well, don't go.
No, this is all great live content. What are you talking about? Got to make notes to do this for the live show.
So that means 15 minutes from each of your favorite podcasts and Airrec Radio. And then
is a live on-stage production.
Yes, on stage we will do a 15-minute show. A 15-minute show for Airrec Radio should take about 3 hours.
As long as your wife promised not to come and go as she pleases during it, we'll be fine.
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem.
And if you want to hear Airrec Radio's 15-minute live show, you want to go Friday night, 7:30 p.m.
Yes.
Friday night, 7:30 p.m.
Also, Airrec Radio will be there on Saturday.
Yes.
Doing our normal show from a table.
Yeah, we'll just be doing it on location show.
We don't know what time that'll be. We haven't talked about it yet, and this isn't the place to talk about it. So, spoilers, you'll find out next week.
And if you want to hear the A Podcast 15-minute live show, that'll be Saturday at 6:30.
Oh, that's right. We can also go on Saturday evening and see A Podcast.
Yes.
The podcast about a podcast.
At 6:30.
At
PM.
6:30.
At the Record Archive.
The place to go.
The place to go. I still don't know the address.
The city somewhere. You can see it from the expressway, but if you see it from the expressway, you've gone too far.
With all this Podfest, did you have anything else to add about Podfest?
I was just
and
say,
who's the same
Saturday
setup
night?
for Saturday? Yeah.
Saturday night will be the winner of the Rochester's Best Podcast Award that was in the city newspaper last year. I think you'll recall that we were in the running, and we put up a mighty fight, but were defeated by mightier fighters who won the podcast thing. Whatever. They were in the middle of the ballot. Who cares? No. They worked hard. They worked hard and won. And
I'm not making faces.
It's very distracting what you're doing over there.
So they'll be headlining the event with their music show.
Their show is called Local Vocals and features a lot of Rochester's local talent in music, less hip-hop oriented. So Saturday night will be somewhat of a rock show for an hour, preceded by somewhat of an abortion full of podcasts.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm really...
Thanks for the summary. I like that summary that you just did there.
I want to let you know that I might be having... I can actually see that I might have a panic attack over this.
I think we're just going to record this episode and stand on stage and do it Andy Kaufman style.
We'll just stand there and
click and play it.
We could dress like Napoleon Dynamite and Pedro. It will tie up one half of your mustache like that girl's ponytail. Well, we figured out what we're doing for the live show. So right before us is Second Prince. You can see them and then leave when we get on stage, because you know how our show is going to go now.
Yeah, our show's going to be way better. What are you talking about?
Yeah. We're going to, I don't know, do some stuff. I think that I'm going to talk about deaf people because I know they won't hear me.
That's a good idea. It's a good time to get some shit talking out.
I think it's safe, you know. They're not going to be at Podfest. They're not going to be at the Record Archive. There's nothing at the Record Archive for deaf people.
Big speakers? Do they sell speakers?
Yeah, but I don't know if they sell speakers, but like
deaf people like big speakers.
The bigger the no matter how big it is, they still can't hear it.
They feel it.
Kind of feel it.
Boom, boom. That's why I like big speakers. Because they feel it. Well, with all this ROC Podfest talk going on and everybody gearing up for their shows, guess who's been super busy making himself a Podfest and a TV show. 2 TV shows, actually.
I don't know. Was it Marcus the Fancy Newsman?
Yes, it was Marcus the Fancy Newsman.
I suspected as much.
All of that happened because of his genius.
I believe that.
Okay, it really did happen because of his genius. But it's his acting chops. I've seen him act. He's Oscar award winning.
Good for him. Somebody has to be.
Well, with all this making of Podfests and TV shows, the Podfather has been awfully busy.
Yeah, I heard he made you an offer you couldn't refuse.
He asked me very nicely if I would play acting Postmaster General.
He stood on your
For
neck
him.
and told you that you were going to take a new position.
You are my bitch, and you will do what I tell you to do.
Now, what's your name? Bitch. I can't hear you.
You're a bitch, sir. So I, Corey from Eric Radio, will be handling all of the website postings.
Whoa, look at you, Mr. Big
And
Shot,
that stuff
fancy
for
pants man.
ROCpodcast.com. Because I had tons of free time already.
Guess what, folks? I hate my boss now. It's a weird little role reversal that's going on here.
I wasn't busy or anything beforehand. Well, I just wanted to cry. First world problems. You know.
Yeah, you know.
It happens.
Yeah.
People want to cry about things.
Whatever. Complaining is what makes the world go round.
Really?
I don't know.
I thought it
It
had.
might be a spoonful of sugar that does that. I'm not really up on my world go roundings these days.
All right. Well, fair enough. I figured it was solar influence. But whatever.
Did you know
It's cool.
that the solar panels, one of the problems they have with robots on Mars is that the solar panels get dusty and they don't have anything to clean them off. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just, have like a little squeegee bot on them? But apparently that scratches the glass, which causes permanent damage. And I'm like, well,
Why
isn't dust on the glass with nothing to clean it off kind of permanent damage?
couldn't you just put a wiper with a...
No, they said it would scratch the glass. I mean, I guess I guess maybe
You can't. There's not. You couldn't use like a soft thing.
I don't know.
Like you couldn't. It couldn't be made out of microfiber or something.
I think that no, it can't. Oh, that's why it is. That you just told me why it was. It's because they can't. None of the Mars rovers have organic material on them. Their wheels are not rubber. They don't have, because they're searching for life, so they can't find our own organic material there. So you couldn't have a squeegee or a liquid cleaner because it would be packed full of stuff that
that's a good point.
don't want to be dispersing into the Martian atmosphere. So I just learned something. Hooray.
At least figured it out.
Yeah.
Woo.
Go science.
Yay, science.
For the win.
Did you have anything else?
I did, actually. Do you know what I got today?
A clue?
That's a very good guess. I got 2 phone books.
Yummy. How many trees had to die for that?
2 phone... What the fuck do I need a phone book for, phone book company?
Company of book selling?
I want to know how much money that is in the phone book game, because it is absurd to me that they're delivering, like, all right, so somebody has to burn gas to get these phone books to my house, and I didn't order a phone book. I don't want a phone book.
No, it comes with having a phone.
I don't have a goddamn phone. I don't have a home phone line.
Well, the house used to, so now it's on some list somewhere.
So, but it doesn't really change the fucking fact that, like, I don't want a phone book. And now I got to feel bad about throwing it out because it's too big for the recycle bin. It's going to take up the whole goddamn thing. In the garbage with you.
Kindling for fire.
I'm not storing a worthless-ass book.
It's a good way to store kindling. It's just a book.
That's true. But I'm not going to. It's a very good argument. I'm still not going to do it. I would feel like a hoarder. I don't like paper waste being around. I hate it. I cannot stand it. Why? Why phone books? Why? You pay...
There's lots of money in the phone book game, dude.
Well, God damn it. Couldn't that money come...
Lots of money.
Isn't there something else that we could do with the money that the phone book municipality would lose?
Private company.
I know. Whatever. Municipality was the wrong word, but you get my point. All right, we're going to turn a bunch of recycled paper into future recycled paper or landfill fill. It's fairly biodegradable, so I'll take that. But, like, somewhere there's a factory that I assume runs on babies.
So it's Science Factory.
Yeah, it runs on babies that they throw into a furnace.
Ink is not good for the ground.
No.
Sure.
I hadn't even thought of the ink. Ink is expensive.
And bad. There's a lot of businesses pay a lot of money to have larger than normal listings. Like the listing is free still, but in order to have ads in and around the book, businesses pay a lot of money. The family business had a column size, a half a column sized ad.
Yeah.
In the phone book for 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
Just up until the last 2-3 years that we stopped fucking doing it.
Where the last 2 years were less fucking?
Yes, we're less fucking. We weren't doing it because you were not.
Yeah, because
you don't get the business that you used to often
yeah.
anymore. No,
that's what I'm saying. Like, isn't the time of the phone book? Couldn't we? I mean, what is it going to take for the phone book to die?
Where else is Celino and Barnes going to advertise?
All over the radio, I guess, as they do.
Or Antonelli, whatever. Where else are the 2-bit lawyer firms going to advertise? On the back of the DWI guys does it on the phone book. That's who it is.
Are they on buses?
Yeah.
On things that people see. You know what I did with my phone book? I literally picked it up from my step, walked it to my garage, dumped it in my garbage, and walked in the house. What? With the bag. I feel like a terrible human being for that.
Plastic bag in the garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, you are a terrible human being.
Dude, you work at a car dealership. We're not terrible human beings.
Oh, my God. The paper waste.
The paper waste in the auto industry is absurd. It's crazy. It is batshit henhouse crazy.
When none of it needs to be on paper.
None of it. There's
none of it.
You print a work order. All right, so here's the deal, listener. You go.
Don't get too detailed.
I'm not going to get too detailed. I can't help it. I'm a detail.
Fuck you too, Bill.
You take your car in for an oil change, right? All you want is an oil change. You're just there for your 50, 70, whatever your dealership's beating you up for an oil change.
Oh, no, they're giving me free oil changes on this pile of shit that I bought from them.
Oh, yeah, some dealerships, sure. They do also do the free. That's not really the point, but all right. It's a good sidebar.
I just wanted to throw dealership shit in there.
So you bring your car in, right? Now they have to print up what's called a repair order. And with that repair order comes a multi-page document that is just full of your car's history.
All of it.
And
all of it.
Nobody looks at it. And if they wanted to look at it, it's on the computer right there in front of them.
Which is what you would look at anyways.
But you get like 5 to 10 pages printed out, and it's just an absolute waste of paper. And a staple.
You get a used car that's been through service, trade-in a couple times?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, is that bad? It's a 20 sheet.
We're talking about books here.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
After you've let a couple of dealership techs get at that thing a couple times. The repair orders get pretty
It's
thick.
such a waste. And I've never worked at a dealership where they have a recycling bin that gets used properly.
What is a recycling bin?
It's a place where you put paper, and instead of taking it to the landfill to just sit and turn into dirt there, it gets recycled so that more new paper doesn't have to get made because we can make recycled paper.
All right. And
Hug a tree, bitch. Hug a tree.
The whole spirit of this I'm with, because the first thing out of my mouth when you said the phone books
was a cock.
Was,
after that
was how many trees had to die for that? Okay.
12.
Probably closer to 3, but okay.
12 of those redwoods.
Wow.
For one phone book. I looked it up on the internet, Corey. This is science we're talking about here. This is real information.
I did science. I went to Google, and it showed me to Wikipedia.
They put a California redwood, a 700-year-old tree, in every phone book.
Was that just for good luck? It was like for good mojoing?
Yeah.
Mojoing?
Yeah, they don't even use the whole tree. They actually just burn the baby on the wood from the tree to make the ink out of burnt baby on.
Oh, well, you got to cure the fat somehow.
So I'm saying, folks, do we really need to be doing all this baby burning and redwood tree destroying for phone books?
But I wanted a sidebar because we got off onto the waste of the dealership.
Continue.
So I wanted to continue our sidebarring.
Continue.
Okay. With the recycling bin with the paper.
Yes.
It is my belief, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this, that you're actually hurting things recycling paper.
Why do you think that?
Okay. One, we now understand responsible forestry. We might not necessarily perform it every single time in every single instances where there's not government control.
Yeah.
But we understand what responsible forestry is. And we do it in this country on a regular basis.
You think?
I know.
think
In
so?
this country,
Okay.
this country, yeah.
I have never
absolutely.
researched this, so I'm going to take you at your word, and then I'm going to research it and blow your shit up next week.
They cut a tree, they plant two.
Okay.
That's how. If you're a guy who cuts down trees,
that's like magic. I'm not sure about that.
if you're a guy who cuts down trees for a living, I don't think you want to run out of trees, right? So you just plant more so you can cut them down.
Yeah.
It's simple economics.
Where do they get the room for the other tree?
They've already cleared that space.
Well,
I'm not teaching you how step trees work, how step systems work. They have the space.
I know, I'm fucking with you. Whatever.
Oh, I'm not arguing with you this. But anyways, so we got forestry initiative. So we're not running out of wood. We're not running out of wood. And paper biodegrades. It just falls back into the earth and becomes what it was in the first place.
Yes.
But in order to get that paper...
Well, I hope you're going where I think you're going. It'll save me the trouble of going there.
From the dealership to the recycling plant, which they probably just burn it anyways, it takes diesel fuel.
Yeah, it takes diesel fuel to also harvest the trees.
It
takes a lot of diesel fuel, actually.
It
takes a lot of gas to run the chainsaws.
But we were going to do that anyways. We weren't going to not do that.
But we don't need to do that because we can recycle more.
We were going to do that anyways because economics demand that the guy's going to cut as many trees down as he can.
You know what? You've sold me. Dealerships should definitely continue to print several books of paper per car.
It's not the lesson
here. Dot
here.
matrix printer while using a software that makes what was that fucking Granddaddy OS called? I can't think. It's not coming to mind now.
Reynolds is DOS based.
DOS. Thank you, DOS. That's the one.
Yeah.
DOS. It looks like DOS.
DOS. No, it is DOS. It's DOS based.
It smells like DOS in here.
It's DOS software, pal.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Blue screen, yellow text.
Yes.
Great for the eyes.
No mouse.
No mouse, no moss.
No mouse. What is this, 1981? What do you mean mouse?
Key command prompts.
tab.
The amount of extra button pushes alone. Like, if you had to calculate the energy, the wasted energy that people that work on that system have used, I bet you could power a city for a year. If you could, collect all that energy and
I think that's a big claim.
I bet, but it's been around for a long time. And you've seen the amount of wasted button clicks you have to do on those systems.
Oh, my God.
Anybody that works in a warehouse and has to use a computer would understand this also.
Oh, there's truck drivers agreeing with us right now.
Yeah.
People that work in warehouses.
Truck drivers, listen, stop using computers while you're driving your trucks.
Anybody who's got any kind of paperwork in their job is like, yeah, you're right. There's too much of it.
It's ridiculous to look at.
And there's nothing to do with it.
The cats that run the places, if they just looked at it, they would have to say, how much are we spending on paper for no goddamn... I bet it would pay for iPads. Jesus. It's ridiculous.
I guarantee you, by the time you figure in toner and paper, it would pay for iPads, no problem. But the problem is your employees with the iPads... and the breaky, droppy, watching porn in the bathroom.
No, so you can block all that shit out, first off. You don't need to be. I don't think that watching porn in the bathroom on an iPod, like on a work iPod, is a really relevant fear. Because here's the thing: why wouldn't you just use your own fucking smartphone?
I defy you. I defy you. That if all of a sudden you put an iPod in 10% of the workforce's hands, you would have at least a 1% increase of people that got busted masturbating at work.
Somebody's going to use it wrongly. Sure, all right.
There's a guy in my dealership that would do it.
People do things wrongly all the time. It shouldn't keep us from trying something new. All of us are doing it wrongly now.
And I know people would be dropping the fucking thing.
Yes, they would.
Constantly. They'd be taking it outside to greet customers.
Dude, have you seen those otter boxes, those gator cases that they give to little kids' iPads?
Yes.
Yeah. Color it a different color. Let Snap-on sell them for $200 a shot.
Yeah.
There it is.
Now they're red and black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it run on batteries, too. Like one of those stupid leap pads. Oh, those stupid leap pads. Don't buy a leap pad, friends.
Yeah, no.
Don't do it. Get a Kindle instead.
Yeah, you're wasting your money with all that bullshit.
It is so terrible. What a terrible purchase that was.
I bought the little Game Boy looking thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I bought the tablet thing. And I bought the console game thing.
The console thing was a huge piece of shit.
Oh, my God.
That thing was awful.
I wasted my money with all that bullshit.
And it was all so expensive. I did that, too. Yeah. LeapPad, for those of you who don't know, is a children's gaming device.
Hey, when did this become Parent Time Hour?
And it is a shit show. It's like their tablet, air quotes, is like $300.
For a 16-bit system.
Runs on 4 AA batteries. It is the biggest travesty they ever sold me for a Christmas present. All right, so that's pretty much what I got to say about paper waste. I think we beat that horse into the ground. I have another beef.
Besides stealing my words, quote, verbatim directly?
Nobody
What's
heard
that?
shit, dude? Nobody heard that.
What?
Nobody saw it happen, Corey. You can't prove it happened.
There's live listeners that heard it.
So, it's nearly St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patty's Day.
That's exactly my problem.
Oh, yeah?
I want to explain to you and the whole world that
how racist this.
Every time you try to speak with a brogue, you don't always have to raise your voice up like a little idiot leprechaun. It's not absolutely necessary to do it every time you talk in an Irish accent.
Yes, you do.
There's no... You don't
yes,
have to
you
do it. No, you don't.
Yes, you
no.
do.
Mm-mm.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
What? Why?
Because I'm not going for authentic.
It's like,
I'm going to be a racist prick about it.
It's like blackface on the radio.
I love it.
And everybody lets it go. Like, nobody says anything. And I'm not like...
Every black comedian has a stereotypical white guy voice, and every white comedian has a stereotypical gay guy voice. It happens.
I understand that you
what's your Arab impression, huh? What's that sound like?
I don't do a very good Arab impression at all.
Because it sounds like a stereotypical Arab.
But I'm saying, like, St. Patrick was not a leprechaun.
No, absolutely not.
There's not even a legend about him having been a leprechaun.
But on that day, just because I can, I'm going to drink myself into one.
That's fine. You can. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the alcoholism associated with the thing.
Doesn't Irish folklore say if you drink enough green beer, you actually turn into a leprechaun?
No.
No?
It doesn't. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I don't know how they would have made green beer. No? Me neither. But what I do know...
They would have put something blue and yellow in it?
...is that every fucking idiotic bar that has that stupid ad with the... Oh, it's nearly St. Patrick's Day, so here I am talking about St. Patrick's Day in an idiotic, stupid-ass leprechaun voice. You could talk. You could say, well, friends, it's nearly St. Patrick's Day, and you know what that means. It's time to head on down to the local pub and snort back a pint of porter or whatever the hell us Irish people are drinking this season. You don't have to raise your voice up like a fuckstick. It's not necessary. It is very irritating on
if
the
you
car.
don't stop with the accent.
Exactly. I hate it. It's
No,
horrible.
yours.
Oh, fuck you. Mine's authentic, bitch.
No. Your regular speaking voice. Stop that.
Oh. Well, then what will our listeners listen
Better.
to learn
There-
things?
no,
Oh, I'm sorry.
better. That's good. There, right
All
there.
right, all
You're doing
right.
good right there. Perfect. All right. No, dude, you sound like the miserable old drunk guy at the bar who's drunk at 7:30 at night, and all the college kids are in there wearing their green shit. You fucking people ain't even fucking Irish.
But you amateur alcoholics, I'm in here busting my ass drinking all this beer every day. These out-of-towners, they just come in here on St. Patrick's Day and think they're so fucking cool,
They
man.
do this stupid fucking leprechaun voice. The fucking kids. Did it ever occur to you that the reason why people like me do that is because it's not like I'm an impressions master. In fact, I'm terrible at it. So to even come close to something that's even possibly recognizable to an Irish accent, I have to pick up the biggest, most recognizable Lucky Charms fucking leprechaun
But
accent.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the radio commercial.
But there's a lot. But I identified with that accent when I went to make one.
I think you could have managed to identify just as well with somebody not sounding like a fucking retard. I'm sorry, that's hate speech.
The only-
fucking retard.
The only Irish accent that I can actually authentic one that I can actually hear in my head is the Boston Irish.
The
It's-
Boston
and
Irish?
It's not the same thing.
What? What a travesty accent is that? Ugh.
Not the same language
Ugh.
as English. Not at all.
Anyway, I hate those commercials.
I'm glad that I was able to hit right on the top of the nail, right in the head there, of what irritated you about that. The second you said it, I snapped right into the
It makes me, like, it doesn't make me angry, but it makes my
It makes
brain
me
tickle.
angry.
It makes me feel like, like I could be angry about it.
I should be angry about it.
But really, I'm just like, this is racist. And that's okay. I mean, it's okay to be a little racist, I guess, especially if it's against white people, apparently. So,
Well, no.
especially the
against white-
whitest people.
Yeah. If it's against white people, it's exceptionally okay. In fact, it's apparently encouraged.
I guess so.
I'm going to stop talking right now.
This show just got way better.
Oh, feel free then. Carry on. Good job. Thanks for picking up the stick and running with it. I have spent a lot of time this week enjoying media.
Media.
I have been off the podcast for the last couple of weeks just because of work and all that.
Yeah.
So I've been enjoying other forms of media. I've been watching a lot of television and movies.
Wow.
I checked out the
What
Neil.
an accomplishment.
It is. I normally don't do that shit, so I'm fucking checking it out.
Okay.
Trying to be part
All
of
right,
pop culture,
man. I wasn't
man.
being racist. It's not like
Yeah,
we're talking
fuck
about St.
you.
Patrick's Day anymore.
Fuck you, man.
Man, you know what I hate? I hate these people that come in and just start talking about the TV they watched one time. I've been watching TV forever, man.
I checked out the first episode of Neil Tyson deGrasse.
Neil deGrasse Tyson? That same?
Yeah,
Or is this
yeah,
a different,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Is
yeah.
this a different guy?
No, same guy.
Okay.
I wrote the names down.
Well, if he's going to have three names, you might as well play with the different variations.
exactly. Neil, he has his own spin-off of or his own remake, whatever.
Reimagining.
Reincarnation, I don't know, of Cosmos, a space-time odyssey,
Cosmos.
which was originally with the Carl Sagan TV show in the 60s and 70s.
Cosmos was also the lamest of the Autobots. He was a spaceship, and he sucked balls. He was a flying saucer.
It was also the name of the local bar in the small town that I grew up in. Cosmos.
Wow.
Huh, that happens.
Saw a lot of Cosmos there.
I don't know.
Okay. Very topical. Very topical. Way to have all your numbers.
What?
You wanted to talk about it.
I just-
Didn't you know we'd be going into anagrams?
I tell you, this fucking show for a TV show is visually
This is a podcast, Corey.
the
I'm done now. Go ahead.
Cosmos, you fucktard. Fucktard?
I'm ready to listen now.
Are you sure?
No.
I don't fucking think you are. You don't give me any of the surefire signs of somebody who's listening. This is a little better.
Cunt in you. Continue.
How does that work in okay. This show is freaking visually amazing.
Iraq Radio?
Yes.
Oh.
That's because we're so
That's
gorgeous.
weird. I can see, but when I listen to the show, I can't see any of this shit. I don't know what's going on.
You're not doing it right. It's broken.
Fuck. I paid a lot of money for those headphones.
By a lot of money, do you mean $20?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Because that's what I paid.
Whatever. The Cosmos.
Back to this point again. Visually unbelievable production value. Unbelievable production value.
I was going to do it
for
again.
a television show. Will you stop?
But all I could picture was you throwing your glass at me. So I didn't. So the show looks good. What you've been trying to say for 20 minutes now is that the show looks good?
It's unbelievably good.
Why didn't you just say that?
Grade A movie quality, $1 billion Marvel movie quality, special effects, good.
Like, that's pretty cool.
Unbelievably
I can't touch that. That's pretty
good,
cool.
dude.
Yeah. It's not like a Marvel movie storyline, though, right?
No, it's
better written than that.
And better delivered.
Like Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't do a song and dance number in the Venom suit. Nothing like that.
For no reason whatsoever.
For no reason. Just to give the audience something to be embarrassed about.
Why am I here?
Where'd my balls go? He's in the Venom suit.
You mean I paid $9.50 for this?
I had no idea the Venom suit made you gay. I didn't know that until that movie.
No. He made the Venom suit gay. It doesn't. It brings out the characteristics of its host.
Good job, Tobey Maguire.
Neil deGrasse Tyson has really taken the reins, picked up the torch for Carl Sagan as the voice of the scientific community.
Yeah.
For the non-scientific community.
Andy looks a little like Lando Calrissian.
Just a little bit,
yeah,
but less intimidating.
I was shocked that he was black.
Really?
I didn't know. I saw him and I was like, what?
Yeah, sure is.
I was like, well,
and he's
sound
very black too,
like a black guy,
no.
And I always assume that if I hear a leprechaun, that must be an Irish person.
So, when you hear a Spanish voice in your head, what do you hear?
I don't know. I don't speak enough Spanish, man.
You know what I hear?
Oh, Speedy Gonzales, obviously.
Speedy Gonzales.
Actually,
exactly.
I don't hear Speedy Gonzales. I hear that hungry mouse.
Fastest mouse in all Mexico.
I always hear the other mouse, the hungry one that was laying up against the wall next to me and Will. He was like, Manuel, I'm hungry. And then Manuel was like, if only that local gato wasn't out there. Speedy Gonzales could save the day. I love it. And that's how I hear Spanish.
See? What was that about leprechauns, you fuck?
What, man? That's not racist.
Not at all. To associate with a well-known
Spanish.
cartoon character.
It's not like they talk like leprechauns. If they talked like Mexican leprechauns, if they had Little Mice voice, and that was how everybody perceived Mexicans spoke, then I'd be like, well, all right, the Mexicans have to deal with it too.
What if that mouse was doing Cosmos for Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yo, you don't even know they're Mexican. I said Mexican 4 times and instantly was like, they could be Puerto Rican, dude. I don't know that. I'm sorry, the Cosmos.
No, Stacy.
Oh.
What was Speedy Gonzales the fastest mouse in all of?
Was it specifically in Mexico?
Speedy Gonzales is the fastest mouse in all Mexico.
Oh, good. Well, then I feel like less of a bigot now. Hooray! Maybe I'm more of a bigot for not knowing that.
I don't know.
Assuming that they must not be from Mexico.
What kind of backwards white liberal guilt racism did you just trick yourself into feeling?
I don't know, man. But I feel awful.
Relax. It's okay. It's all right. You're going to be fine. I swear. It's going to be okay. Back to the show. Fuck this. It's 100% recommend. I want to watch every episode
Of Looney Tunes.
Yes. of Looney Tunes, of the Cosmos, A Space-Time Odyssey with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
A space-time odyssey?
Cosmos, A
That's what
Space-Time
they call
Odyssey.
it? That's pretty cool, I guess. I'd check it out for sure because I definitely like those shows.
And like episode 1 was great. It was local astronomy 101. Like he literally taught
The solar system?
He taught you the Earth address. He taught you your space address.
Is that like how
Earth,
far we
solar
are from
system, galaxy, supercluster, or cluster, supercluster. He taught the whole thing out to the Oort cloud because that is as far as our observational science can take us.
The Oort cloud is the edge of our solar system.
Yeah, he did. He just did the location.
Yeah.
No, it's not the edge of our solar system. It's the edge of the. Is it the edge of the solar
It is
system?
definitely
Maybe I have it backwards.
a little
It
bit.
was the supercluster that we brought
There
you out to.
go.
He brought you out
That's
to
what
the
he would have
supercluster.
brought it out to.
Yeah, that's what it
That
was.
would
I had
be
it backwards.
our arm of the Milky Way, or is that
No, that's the galaxy.
beyond the-
that's
okay, all right.
that's the
That's
chunk of
what
galaxies
the Milky Way
is
is
in.
set
Yes.
into?
Yes.
Yeah, the firmament, according to the Bible.
That's what it was a big part of the first episode, and I wish I had time to be more
Cordial with your words,
fuck you.
giving with your ability to complete a sentence without some dickhead interrupting you.
I wish I had time to pay more attention to the show. I'm going to rewatch it,
Oh, pobrecito.
but I watched it at work.
I'm sorry, I should have said that like the little mouse. Oh, pobrecito. Lo siento. If Speedy Gonzalez were here, he could give you the time to watch the TV show. Holmes.
Oh my god, I hate you so much. Why? What is with you tonight?
I don't know. We got a live 15 minutes to do, man.
And
I'm
you're
like
kinda
trying to
Gear yourself up for being.
get in the, got to get out there and be entertaining, man.
I say we do the most boring show we possibly can. Just
We-
15
I
minutes
think
straight.
we've
of
done that
fact,
before.
fact.
Yes.
Anyways, fuck it, I'm
Headline
done.
News.
I'm-
More like headline
It's
snooze.
news. Oh,
Whoa, I didn't think it was that funny. Jesus. Corey,
Oh.
do you need a towel?
yes. I need to clean up.
Oh, folks, while Corey's cleaning up, I think
That's
we're going to take a
terrible.
break.
Oh god, no!
That's
I don't want to.
Oh, well, let's take a break. Take a break.
But I don't want to.
Come to Podfest. Hear more stuff like this from more people than us. Some of it, shockingly, might even be better than what you hear on Airrack Radio.
Not possible. Never gonna happen.
That's March 28th and 29th.
Record
ROC
Archive.
Podfest at Record Archive.
Yo, the Mental Overload show is great.
Always great.
It's funny. It's very funny.
We want to give every listener that what the fuck look.
And we do that with our original content because our topics are unlike no other. We don't do the mainstream media thing. We do shit that people have to deal with every day and make fun of it.
Oh yeah, we talk about runaways. We talk about gorilla titties. We don't give a fuck.
We talk about them blacks. We talk about them spics. We talk about them whites. We talk about everybody.
Hey,
Everybody.
this is original content.
We guarantee at least 12 laughs per episode.
Yep. And we even talk about priests.
Priests, they're great. They're great
great.
molesters. They perfected it. So if you're bored, you got some downtime, you want some mindless entertainment, check it out. MentalOverloadShow.com.
Mindless entertainment at its finest.
Do it now, or I will hammer fist your grandmother in the choach.
That sounds nice.
Woody Woodpecker was fun. What?
What?
Huh?
Who?
Oh yeah.
Mental Overload Show.
.com.
Mindless entertainment at its finest.
Well, everybody, you've managed to sit through the first break, and you know what that means. It's time for headline news.
Headline news.
You wanted headline news. You introduced it, fucker. Where are we going? What are we doing? You
I-
wanted to drive the train. Where's it going?
I believe I said, Corey, you have the news tonight.
Corey, you did show prep.
I did show prep too, but it's not news.
I guess.
got a phone book in the mail, and it's almost St. Patrick's Day. That's 2 things I did.
All right, it's very good. That's the end of our show.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
That's the end of our show. I guess the top news story would be the Malaysian plane mystery.
I would like to point out, before we get too serious about the news, that Malaysia sounds like something you catch from sleeping with a dirty woman.
I like that.
Continue.
Okay, I'm going to use that at work tomorrow. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, don't mind at all.
All right.
For the podcast listener, I want to just to clarify, for the podcast listener, when Corey says tomorrow, he actually means yesterday. You're listening to a recording. Continue.
In fact, I'll be doing this joke while I'm posting. That's what will happen. Do you want to not do the Malaysian thing off the top? You're like,
no,
that's,
go right with it.
awfully
No,
heavy.
no, that's fine.
I figured get the top billing out of the way.
I just wanted to say, that I think every time I hear Malaysia, I think that it's an STD.
Fair enough. I wanted to do the exact opposite of any news station you'll ever hear, and we'll talk about the important one first.
Oh, this is the important one?
I would think this is the biggest story of the day.
Okay.
Definitely the biggest story of the day.
Okay.
You're just nodding your head in agreement for...
Regale me with details.
You don't have any?
A Boeing 777 crashes in the South China Sea. There were 227 passengers, 12 crew on board for a total of 39, mostly Chinese, sprinkling of Americans in there, I think, 4 of them, so I guess it matters more because they were, like, Americans.
Well, Americans are more valuable, clearly.
Mean, I know that that's how they sell a news story, so okay.
And 2 babies.
I know that there was...
What else do you know? What else do you
two
know?
passengers got on the plane with fake passports.
Okay.
Strike that up to the TSA. Did a marvelous job of doing their
Wonderful job, yeah. I like to want to point out there's nothing to do with the TSA. But go on.
I heard TSA on the PBS NewsHour, but this is a Malaysian airline.
They were flying out of Kuala Lumpur and headed for Beijing.
I thought it was weird when a respectable news source said TSA officials, and I was like, I don't think you know what? I went for the swing because I hate the TSA. So
99.9 is not the TSA.
Hate's too strong of a word. Loathe, I think, is more appropriate.
And if a listener wants to correct me, and it is the TSA, which I doubt very much.
That anybody's going to correct you, or anybody's listening.
No, I know somebody's listening. Whether somebody's going to correct me or not.
I need to know when the right time is to interrupt you. Of course I'm listening.
Aww. You're such a big sweetie pie.
So that's
I think you pretty much got the gist of the story.
That's like what we know about it. It was in the air for 2 hours
except
and it
for,
disappeared.
Can you ask me a question?
Corey, what question would you like me to ask you?
Where is it and what happened to it?
Where is the plane and what happened? I think one begets the other. I don't think that's 2 questions.
That's 2 questions.
What happened to it will give you the answer of where is it.
Okay.
I guess
where
what
is
happened
it
to
and
it
why
fell
is
out
it
of
there?
The sky. Where is it? It landed. Okay. All right. Sure. That's 2 questions. I'll give you it's 2 questions.
It's 2 questions.
You only asked for 1.
I asked 2. Fuck you. I'll do what I want.
I'll do what I want. Cunt in you.
We haven't found a fucking... It was flying in through the air.
Yes. Definitely did that.
Disappeared off the radar.
Yes. Also did that tragically. Well, it could have been comically, but it probably wasn't.
Haven't found a single shred of physical evidence as of earlier today.
Well, the trouble is that when a plane crashes on water, it doesn't stay on the water very long. And if it blew up, it could be in a kabillion pieces floating around in a billion different places, which
we would then find something, a piece of plastic.
Ocean's big, dude. It's this big. Remember this number that is written on the table?
The seat that are designed to float?
Yeah. Are little.
So?
Compared to an ocean.
Yeah.
Just saying.
We searched 100 square miles around radius around where it disappeared off the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have found something.
Maybe.
We found an oil slick. Guess what? We tested the oil. Not from the airplane.
Really?
Yeah, no. It was
What
from
the hell's that from?
passing barge.
That barge is leaking, Holmes. That's not all right.
It happens.
I'm sorry I called you Holmes. That was racist.
Next time, do it in the Mexican voice.
Hombre.
Do it.
Gringo.
Next time, do it in the lazy mouse Mexican voice. And if you know from now on, that's all you're allowed to podcast it. Just that's your
What do you
voice
mean?
from now on.
Wait, so you're telling me that I have to say everything as if I'm a lazy Mexican mouse?
Yes.
This is not to say that every Mexican mouse is lazy, but the Mexican mouse in question is a lazy mouse.
Particularly lazy and hungry.
Yes. Also, he's very hungry. Him
Back
and
to the
his
accent.
hombre.
his and his hombre, who's surprisingly portly for being so hungry.
Yeah, well,
The
you
hombre.
know, somebody's got to eat the cheese before the cheese runs out. That guy's on it.
Isolate this minute. Somebody's got to eat the cheese before the
Somebody's
cheese
got to
runs
make
out.
scripture about that.
Yeah, the big suspect is there should be some evidence of this fucking plane and what happened, and there's none.
Well, it's not that there's none.
Bermuda
though.
Triangle
that
style.
we haven't found it yet.
And they say that I heard through many of the news sources that I've read and listened to today that the ocean there is not particularly deep, and it's it's searchable.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they've had over 40 ships from several countries.
Wait, 40
and 34
is under
aircraft.
50.
I said 50, 40
Okay.
ships and 34 aircraft from several countries.
I heard
100 nautical mile radius around the vantage point.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing. Not a fucking single shred of physical evidence.
I think
They thought they spotted yellow life raft
yeah.
or maybe one of the slides, and it turned out to be sea garbage.
Damn it.
Just garbage floating in the middle of the sea, covered in moss.
This sea garbage looks like a plane. No, stupid. That's sea garbage.
And
Planes fly, idiot. They're not in the sea.
And a Malaysian transporter said that they saw a fuselage door floating in the ocean, but it was never recovered. Nobody could ever find it after they said they saw it. So I don't know.
Well, they said they saw it.
Yeah, well, you know.
There seems
how-
to be a layer of secrecy on this.
Do you
one.
know how many people think they saw the first airplane hit the Twin Towers on the TV?
You didn't see the first one hit the tower on the
Nobody did, but lots of people will sit here and tell you that they saw both planes.
No, there was a recording that was released later, but not like that
They
day.
didn't see it on the television, and they will remember it as that they saw it on the television.
Yeah.
Lots of people. Same thing with this.
Yeah.
With that statement.
Okay.
They might say it, but, you know, things happen, you see things, you tell yourself a story. People believed in mermaids for fucking thousands of years because some pirate or ship dweller of some sort
Screwed a manatee.
and
We got weird little fish people.
and got caught as he was pushing it overboard.
Jar.
What was that? Jar, it was and from that fucking point on, there was mermaids until modern science, and then a Discovery Channel documentary that proved.
God,
that
that's stupid. That's not a. Don't call that a documentary.
mockumentary. I'm sorry.
It's not even one of those. That is a piece of garbage media. Like, all right, Discovery Channel. I get that it's cute to like make up fake stories, and like the Blair Witch worked out very well. But God damn it, Discovery! Don't do that shit. Don't do it. God damn it, Discovery.
And then put a little disclaimer at the end and hope that everybody read it, and then get the media blitz off and nobody
and a
read
little
it.
asterisk on the bottom of the screen between the commercial for a half a second. Warning: everything you just saw is horse shit. I know horse shit when I see it. That's cow shit.
With holes poked in it. Some
Holes
asshole holes in it.
So that's the plane crash.
That's a plane crash, man. This fucking thing, I don't know. I'm willing to say it crashed yet.
What do you think happened to
Fucking
it?
Bermuda Triangle moved.
Okay. I'm not sure that I'm prepared to argue that. So, okay.
Abducted by aliens?
Folks, you heard it here first. The Bermuda Triangle has moved to the South China Sea. It is now safe to travel in the former Bermuda Triangle. Try it.
On a rickety old boat with a bad radio.
Let us know how it works, but remember, you can't sue Air Rec Radio. We don't got shit.
Where's the blood in the stone? Find it. Find it. Here, boy. Here, boy.
What is that? Is that like you can't get
Blood from
blood
a stone.
from a stone
'Cause we
thing?
don't- yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for breaking it down, MC Mix-a-Lot.
You're welcome.
A loser. Well, anyways, I've got a picture of the last known coordinates and flight plan
Whoa.
of the aeroplano
Does
from
it have red eye reduction?
from flightradar24.com. And I'll put that on the website for everybody to see. No?
Cool
Yes?
story,
website.
bro. Yeah, definitely. Go to the website, airracradio.com. There might
There
be
you
a picture
go.
up there about a news story that we've done today.
And I'm going to check out this flightradar24.com just for my own freaking psychotic benefit. There are
That's
a lot
not
of airplanes.
something you want to say into a microphone, I think.
There's a lot of airplanes. I'll get me at least one of them, I'll tell you what.
There are a lot of airplanes. Why? Is this? Does this show you the airplanes that are in the sky?
Yeah, buddy.
What's the website? Let's look at it on our brand new monitor in studio and distract ourselves from doing this for a second.
Podcast? Yeah, sure.
Sorry, listeners. This thing.
And everything was going so well. Flight Radar 24.
Radar.
.com.
Veinte Cuatro?
Dos Quattro.
Veinte Cuatro.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't fucking speak
It's not
Spanish.
Dos Cuatro. That's 2-4.
2-4.
Veinte
24.
Cuatro, 24.
Okay. I don't speak Spanish.
Me neither. But my mouse alter ego does.
Will you just put the website in and
.com.
pretend like you're computer literate?
No. I'm so computer illiterate. I want to give you an idea of how computer illiterate it is. Folks, I'm about to make a podcast myself.
Oh God. Who's gonna post this thing?
I'll learn how to do it. Maybe. I don't know. I might just record that.
I
post this.
Off mic, I want to talk to you about that. Actually, I had an idea.
Oh, secrets.
But it's secret
Listen,
stuff.
Air Rec Radio fans, I want to let you know that there are two people in this room, and one of them keeps secrets from you.
Yeah, that's
It's not this one. Well, it is this one, too, but
what?
not in this
What,
instance.
Mr. Cut? Let's do it again. What?
Yo, this website is taking forever.
Oh my
load.
God, is it taking forever? I'm tired of waiting for it already.
We'll move on to the next story, and when it finally loads, there's a map.
We were having fun chit chat there.
What's
for a
the next
minute there.
story?
What do you want to do? Do you want to do healthcare in the prisons? Do you want to do Edward Snowden to speak out loud, or do you want to go Bitcoin bankruptcy?
What?
What?
All right, Bitcoin bankruptcy.
I kind of saw you take the bait on that way.
That's fucked up. That's fucking hokum what you're talking there. That's not real.
Mount Gox, G-O-X,
Yeah.
Gox, Mount Gox,
Mount
Gox,
Yeah.
has filed for U.S. bankruptcy protection.
Yeah.
Once the world's largest Bitcoin exchange has filed for U.S. bankruptcy protection in Dallas late Sunday.
Corey.
A move that will temporarily halt U.S. legal action against the Japanese company.
Which Japanese company?
Mount Gox.
They're a Japanese company. See that? I didn't know about this story. Do you know what Mount Gox is? Like how they
it's
started?
It's a Bitcoin exchange. I know what a Bitcoin exchange is.
No. Before they were a Bitcoin exchange, do you know what they were?
No clue.
Mount Gox is an acronym or something, and it has everything to do with Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
They were a Magic the Gathering club that got into Bitcoin early, and so when the story says that they were once one of the big Bitcoin distributors or whatever, it's only because once there was only like 4 or 5 companies doing it.
Yeah.
And this company is
was like the first.
not a company. They're a joke. They're horrible.
Not who we use for our Bitcoin exchange.
No.
No, it's certainly not. It's certainly
no,
not.
their security software was terrible, and they paid the price for that. Well, please continue.
I'm glad that you had background information on this. I had no idea you had background info.
I did, actually.
That's
I heard about
nice.
it on something else. And
oh, did you?
Yeah, on Airrack Radio just now.
Nice. See,
Yeah.
I didn't listen to any podcasts this week. I just found this when I was doing my research.
I took a break from the Bible and listened to a couple of podcasts, and this actually came up in one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that proves how awesome we are. It just naturally happened in our evolution as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
Chapter
continue.
15 filing allows Mount Gox to X.
They got to ask you a
Gox
question.
gets to X.
They're going to ask for some
The-
Chapter 13.
15.
Whatever.
Because it's foreign.
Oh.
13's domestic.
I don't know. Is 13 the domestic bankruptcy?
Yeah.
Did I say 13?
Yeah.
I'm fucking super impressed, and you should be.
Allows Mount Gox to ask the U.S. bankruptcy court to recognize its foreign bankruptcy and to assist in the Japanese proceedings by protecting its U.S.-based assets. U.S. creditors can contest Mount Gox's request for Chapter 15 protection, but it's really up to the courts.
So, were you done?
They're doing this to defend themselves against two lawsuits, which is standard business practice.
They done goofed.
Yeah, it happens.
And folks, I know that I tell you all the time when I tell you that, well, we would never ask you to donate. We do have the opportunity for you to do so on the website, airrackradio.com.
This is why I keep you around, sir.
And we commonly say, give us your Bitcoins. They're worthless. That's a joke. That's not true. They're very worthful. But if you wanted to give them to us, we would take them. But this story wants you to make them worthless. Like,
I'm sorry, where could they give them to us?
That's at airrackradio.com.
All right, you just got to get that part out.
Yeah.
Now we'll move on.
This story is out there to kind of smear Bitcoin a little bit, and I think that's because there's a bunch of big money people that are late to the game.
I agree with
and they
you.
don't want to pay $857 for a Bitcoin when just 2 years ago they could have paid $27 for a Bitcoin. And their
5 years ago, they
investment-
could have paid pennies.
for a Bitcoin.
Pennies.
And their investment would have paid back hugely. They would
People have gotten rich from investing in Bitcoin.
Oh God! If you bought 1,000 Bitcoins 5 years ago, you would have put less than $1,000 down and would now have $853,000.
You would have suffered 6 heart attacks in the process because the market fluctuates so wildly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So now I think what this story is this is the result of a bunch of rich people realizing that if they just use their media outlets that they own, they could get the price down and then get into this new market and generally fuck it up for everybody, which is what they do. So we'll see. Bitcoin is tenuous right now. I'll tell you, it's so tenuous that you might want to just give them to us at airrackradio.com. You can just
we'll take them dangerous things off your hands. We'll handle it.
You've got to
safe disposal.
They're a write-off if you donate them, and right now they're worth more than they will be at the end of the year. That's almost made up right now certainty.
Almost right now.
Almost made up right now. Yeah. I almost made that up right now.
I'm sorry. Well, don't do that.
Corey?
What? I'm clicking buttons. You can't hold the conversation for 3 seconds while I click buttons?
No, your rhythm is off, and I was winding down on my statement. My delicious plug is over.
Oh.
It is time for either more on this story about Bitcoin or more on the next story about
Edward Snowden.
At the
plans to speak
SXSW
at the South by Southwest conference.
I would like to point out that this is a terrible abbreviation these people have. All their flags and shit say SXSW, and that's South by Southwest. And I was like, what the fuck is X by X or SX? It's so hard to say.
SXSW.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is what I have.
Continue.
Austin, Texas. NSA leaker Edward Snowden is getting ready to speak at this year's South by Southwest Interactive Festival.
Is he going to do a remote?
The former NSA contractor will not appear in person at the
shit.
conference in Austin.
If he tried
on Monday.
he wouldn't.
He'll participate remotely via video as Snowden remains in Moscow, where he's living in temporary asylum.
Not a great time to be in Moscow.
Snowden faces felony charges in the U.S. after revealing the agency's mass surveillance program by leaking thousands of classified documents to media outlets.
This situation sucks.
Christopher, insert name I cannot pronounce, principal technologist at the American Civil Liberties Union, will be speaking to Snowden along with Snowden's legal advisor, the ACLU's Ben Wisner. The session begins at 11 a.m. Central Time. The ACLU will offer a live blog of Snowden's talk on its website, and the Texas Tribune's website will host a live video stream. Fugitive WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange spoke at the conference in a similar manner on Saturday. Assange is living in asylum at the Eusidorian word I cannot pronounce embassy in London. ECUADOREAN.
Ecuadorian?
The Ecuadorian. Thank you.
Is that Ecuadorian?
It's Ecuadorian.
Okay.
Thank you for making me feel stupid.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault.
We
you
could
didn't
both
really
be
make
wrong
me
right now.
You didn't make me feel stupid. Clearly, I am stupid because I read the word and didn't make the connection.
Don't say you're stupid. There's a difference. Listen, people think that they're stupid. This is a big deal.
I don't literally think I'm stupid
I know,
because I read a word wrong.
But this is you brought up a point now that there's completely nothing to do with your story, but it's a brief point. So briefly,
flows and ebbs.
People think it's stupid to not know something. It's not stupid. You're not supposed to know everything. How could you? Nobody can know you can't even know a tenth of everything. So it's okay to not know something.
That should be in the memory banks.
You're not stupid. You're ignorant of something.
And now that
that's
you
okay.
said it, I can read the friggin' thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
But you were just ignorant of something for a minute. And I'm ignorant of things all the time. All right, not me. I know. That's kind of a stretch.
How could we?
Not so much me, but everybody else. This makes an excellent background.
It really does make a pretty cool background.
I
want you to refresh it, see what happens.
No, they're moving. The planes. We're completely off subject, though.
Oh, it's a podcast, and it's ours. So.
Folks, the FlightRadar24.com finally loaded on my shitbox computer that I have for the time being.
Terrible computer.
And it's fucking cool looking, man. It's all the planes in the sky and where they are, and it's very interesting to look at, and it's a moving background that's just makes me feel a little smarter about something, I guess.
And this is just the upper northeast.
So Edward Snowden is going to be at the South by Southwest.
SXSW.
I fucking hate that.
I don't know why you can't get that done, dude.
It's too many S syllables for me.
And I ran out of news story. I read the whole thing.
Well, that's all right. There must be an opinion behind that, right?
It was I want to know what the fuck he's talking. Like, is he just talking about like?
I hope he's not there to talk about how he.
I'm going to come off ignorant again. I don't exactly know what the point of the SXSW conference
the South by
is.
Southwest.
Yes.
Conference. It's
I know what South by Southwest is.
It's kind of a. It's like a science-y sort of media-y kind of thing. Like it's the kind of thing that like more podcasts should be paying attention to. Certainly, it has a lot to do with like video and audio, but also social stuff.
You know what? So you know what? Tune in next week as Air Rec Radio
broadcast live from the South by Southwest. That ain't happening. We don't got that kind of budget.
Gives you a detailed breakdown. If you feel it's that important to podcasts, we should make it fucking important.
Oh, no, not to us, to like important podcasts.
We are important.
You're right.
You forgot. See, you got all tipsy and forgot how important we are.
Tipsy?
Record setters.
You think, hold on now. Buddy, you think 2 glasses of whiskey and 3 beers
well, is that all you're doing?
for me?
The fuck's the matter with you? Speed it up.
Nah, man, I'm slowing things down these days. I'm trying to drink less.
Trying to make it to 116, are you?
Yeah, because if I could just make it to 116, I can live forever. No, I'm just trying to make it past 60.
If I can make it to 116, I might be able to retire.
Past 60
That's my goal.
That's a feat in my family. Both of my forefathers before me died before they were into their 70s. That shit sucks. I ain't into that. I want to have that healthy stuff. I've seen old men that were like 100, still moving, like still fucking shoveling snow.
More now.
And I was like, haha, chump, get a snowblower.
More nowadays than ever before, I'll tell you what, because of modern medicine.
Yeah, people are living longer. And
shit.
Way
longer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, at the rate things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if both of us could live into our hundreds comfortably.
I would be shocked, but pleasantly so.
Okay, maybe not the two of us specifically, but maybe two people in our age ranges could live into their hundreds easily.
I'm telling you,
it wouldn't surprise me at all.
I think that if we just hung out there for another 50 years and got fabulously wealthy from the donations of our generous listeners,
in Bitcoin form,
we could download ourselves and just live forever, or at least copies of us.
Or easy PayPal wire transfer.
Sure. I've never found PayPal to ever be easy. Not
Shut
once
up.
ever. It has never served me easily.
Shut up. It's supposed to be 2-click paying. Be quiet.
I know. It's supposed to be, but you have to spend 100 clicks signing up for that shit.
Click, 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 click.
God forbid you go a while without using it. Mm-hmm. Next story, please. I heard something about inmates getting...
Yeah, that's the next story. But in my little news program here...
Oh, were you not done with the current story?
No, I'm done. In my little news program here, even though I found the news story in the news program...
Yes.
I threw it in my reading list... And now it wants to take me to the web.
Which web?
The big one.
The one that's spread across the world
widely?
Yes,
that one. And that site's not up. Oh, look at that. Look what I found.
I'm darned.
All right. Little known health fact.
Okay.
Prison inmates are signing up.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me like a little known health fact. That wasn't the story.
No.
All right. Health care fact.
Yeah, no. Health act fact. In little noticed outcome of President Obama's Affordable Care Act, jails and prisons around the country are beginning to sign up inmates for health insurance under the law, taking advantage of the expansion of Medicaid that allows states to extend coverage to single and childless adults, a major part of the prison population. And this comes out of the New York Times because we haven't sourced anything today.
The New York Times, I don't really require as a second source. Right? I think that's a pretty good primary source.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't sourced anything. This comes out of the New York Times.
So inmates are going to be signing up for Medicaid.
State and counties are enrolling inmates for two main reasons. Although Medicaid does not cover standard health care for inmates, it can pay for the hospital bills for stays beyond 24 hours, meaning states can transfer millions of dollars of obligation to the federal government instead of it being on the state level.
Oh, I see. So is this only state institutions, or does this go to, or do you not know if this goes to the private prisons?
It's going to go to. It's going to be the state because they're state funded,
whether they're private or state.
Yeah, well, private prisons are still state funded, so they will be. They'll cover under this umbrella.
Okay. So instead of prisons,
it's like schools,
which are tremendously profitable, will not be paying the health care for the inmates.
Well, they don't. They already didn't. Even private ones didn't.
Oh.
They already didn't.
Well, who did they pay?
They're wards of the state. Prisons are wards of the state.
Oh. So
period.
the state was paying for it. Now
yes.
It'll be the Fed.
Now it'll be the Fed.
So now we'll be paying for Louisiana's prisoners.
Exactly.
As well as our own.
Louisiana will be paying for ours as well as theirs.
No, fuck that. It's no tit for tat. I'm angry now. Even if it's less accurate to be angry about.
That only works in places that have an 8.25% sales tax.
Yeah, right.
Or higher. The most important benefit of the program, corrections officials say, is that inmates who are enrolled in Medicaid while in jail or prison can have coverage after they get out.
What?
People coming out of jail or prison have disproportionately high rates of chronic disease.
You don't say.
Especially
the particularly
mental
poor,
illness
the really
and addictive disorder.
This is a perfect example of a self-perpetuating system doing what self-perpetuating systems do. Perpetuating themselves.
Oh, my God. Few, however, have insurance, and many would qualify for Medicaid under the income tests for program for the program.
Why can't we just have one health care for everybody?
And I'm going to read this verbatim. 138% of the poverty line in the 25 states that have elected to expand their programs. That would qualify. 138% of the poverty line in the 25 states that have elected to expand their programs.
I don't understand what that number means.
Everybody.
138%.
I don't know that I know what this number means. What I think this number means is 138% of the people at the poverty line and lower. Every fucking buddy.
I only have a problem with that because why not me too? Like,
yeah, I understand.
Why not me too, man?
Hashtag first world problem.
No, fuck first world problems. This is a humanitarian issue. This isn't a first world problem. This is a problem that only people in the first world will have. But this isn't like my fucking boat won't start.
Well, yeah, I think it was a petty problem. I didn't say it was a petty problem.
This isn't like I just got my third DUI in my Porsche YOLO. This isn't like that.
Oh no, motherfucker! You only get to die once, and I can't wait until that happens.
This isn't like that. This is healthcare. We have the ability for everybody to have the best health care in the world in this, our great country. Our most giving motherland could have us all covered under health care that is so uniform there'd be no reason to want any other kind of health care. But instead of doing that, we have this ridiculous, retarded system that just beats the fuck out of anybody making a little money to get off the people that are making a lot of money or help them justify continuing to make a lot of money. It's ridiculous. And then inmates who at least 30% of them shouldn't be inmates. And I think I'm being conservative with that number.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's very conservative to say that 30% of the people in jail shouldn't be in jail. They all get federal health care now? Like, oh, God.
In the past, states and counties have paid for almost all the health care service. Calm down, buddy. Calm down, buddy. In the past, states and counties have paid for almost all the health care services provided to the jail and prison inmates who are guaranteed such care under the Eighth Amendment. According to a report by the Pew Charitable Trusts, 44 states have spent $6.5 billion on prison health care in 2008. In Ohio, health care for prisoners cost $225 million in 2010 and accounted for 20% of the state's corrections budget.
That's a lot. That's a big percentage.
Extended hospital stays, treatment for cancer or heart attacks, or lengthy psychiatric hospitalizations, for example, are particularly expensive. And we hit the root. We hit the core of the problem. It's not the health insurance that is broken. It is not the health coverage that is broken that needs. I mean, it is, but it's not what we need to reform. It's the health care pricing.
Did you say
the cost of health care is astronomical because it's been pumped up because of insurance fraud?
Can I? Oh my God, has it? Can I please ask you, Corey? Will you please repeat the number? Was it 225 million
For Ohio.
For Ohio, so 225
in 2010.
225 million.
And that was 20%.
Times 5. The Ohio prison budget is $1,125,000,000. Continue.
Which the Fed is going to have to pick up a lot of now.
Times 50.
Yeah.
Let's assume that Ohio is roughly average. This is a big assumation for us to make, but we're not economists.
I would
here.
say it's about roughly
There
average.
are 50 states.
Be
This
good
is an
guess.
example of one state, which seems to me to be a medium. They get the primary.
However, maybe because it's quoted in an article, we can assume that maybe it's a little high.
There's
because
gonna
if
be
you're writing an article, you're going to look for the big number.
There's going to be a margin of error here.
Also, yeah.
Times 50, we have 5.625 times 10 to the 1th.
I'm out.
That is
Number I don't understand. Moving on.
God, that's $5 trillion. That's almost $6 trillion. No.
There's no way.
It's not. No, it's not.
There's no way.
No, it's not. Hold on.
Stuart Hudson, managing director of healthcare for Ohio's Department of Rehabilitation and Correction, said his department, which plans to start enrolling inmates in Medicaid when they have been in the hospital for 24 hours, expects to save $18 million a year through that practice.
That's $50,625,000,000 just given to the Fed to pay for. $50,625,000,000.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's $56,250,000,000. Actually, Jesus.
And remember, I said that this is for inmates that have chronic disorders and long extended hospital stays. About 70% of prison inmates in the state have problems with addiction, and 34% suffer from mental illness. All of those people, and though you could probably consider addiction, mental illness, and group them together.
At least in enough. At least in 9 and 10, 8 and 10. We'll call it in 7 and 10 cases. Addiction could be a mental illness.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that. That's a lot of, and that probably stands true as a median for all prison populations
Per capita, yeah.
Close to it.
Per capita.
Yeah, as a percentage. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
We have more of our population in prison than any other country.
But this, isn't that fucking amazing?
Even like
it's because of the way our law structure's set up.
The countries we invade because they're unjust, quote unquote, have less percentage of their population in prison.
That's not because they have looser rules or laws. It's because they off with their heads.
Well, there's some of that. Some of that. That's certainly something.
Goodbye. No prison
some
for
of it's
you.
because they have less bloodthirsty crime fighting going on.
There's less profitable crime fighting going on.
There's less profit in it in other countries.
In other countries. And that's where the difference lies here.
Boy,
in
is there a
this
lot of
great
money
state.
in putting people in jail in this country.
Certainly
it's gross.
is. Certainly is. But this isn't necessarily. This is a symptom of the disease.
I don't feel that giving prisoners health care is a bad thing. I think it's
You
sucks
have
that
to.
like
I
they don't
mean-
give it to me. Like,
But exactly, we have to give to the prisoners. I understand.
like I didn't do anything wrong. How come I don't have health care?
Why don't I have it too?
Like these guys fucked up and they get something I don't? What the fuck?
No, I completely understand your position, but again, I think this just harkens back to the fact that it's not really we're treating a symptom when we worry about reform of the Health Care Act, the health insurance policy reform, the reform needs to happen at the level of cost. It should not cost $1,200 for an MRI when we paid the machine off 20 years ago.
And if you wanted to take it just one step lighter than that, like just give them an easier time, just one step easier time, why does an uninsured person pay a lower price than an insured person? If the prices are fair, how come some people pay different prices? That's not fair.
It's not fair because we can jack up the prices on the insurance company. And the insurance company will pay it because that's part of their job.
They're going to pay.
That's how they do.
Right.
And then what that does is it raises the freaking average price.
And then you get to convince people that you're a good guy because you're giving better pricing to the uninsured so that they can afford their health care.
You're giving 20% off a 1,000% inflated price.
How about health care should be the people's fucking health? How about that? How about it's the people's health care? How about it's the people's medicine?
People gum it.
The body is the body of the person, and it is the stewardship of the people to take care of the people. How about that?
How about that? No, I mean I'm with you.
That's what makes me angry about healthcare stories.
But how about at the current prices of healthcare, because we're still capitalist, right? We still got money, and we still want to spend it. We need to spend it. We need to buy it.
I'm not a capitalist when it comes to healthcare. I'm sorry, I'm not.
But it's still, I mean, we're capitalists in the grounds that we still have a currency system.
Yeah.
That's still based on people working and buying, building and buying.
Yes.
For the most part, we can argue the nuances that we don't build anything anymore. But whatever.
I wouldn't have even brought that up.
But you get what I'm saying.
We build cars, dude. Dodge builds America's import. Export, I don't know. Dodge builds the worst cars in America.
Imported from Detroit. Garbage. I forgot where I was going.
I'm sorry for you.
Man, where were you?
I didn't know where you were going. You weren't there yet.
No, I certainly wasn't. We were talking about healthcare reform.
Yeah.
Oh, it costs money. It still costs money.
Yeah.
And for $1,200, the government cannot give you health care. It cannot cover you and you and you and you and me and them. It can't cover it at the prices that they are. It couldn't happen because there's still money. People still need to make money. Doctors still need to make money.
Yeah, that's why
so
we
there still
take
have
it back.
to be.
That's why we take it back.
What do you mean we take it back?
I don't know. That's what people say when they're being revolutionaries. They say, we got to take the power back. That's what Rage Against the Machine said.
Oh, okay.
So I assume that that's all we have to do is take it back. I don't know how you do that. but I think that's what needs to happen is like we need to go to the healthcare provider and say, listen, bitches, you are being shady bitches. Knock it the fuck off.
You is some shady bitches, nigga.
Here's the thing. Healthcare companies, either you knock it off or we're going to get our axes and pitchforks. I don't know how you do these things, but I know that where they end up if the begrieved party.
Begrieved.
Begrieved. No, the begrieved party is the people that are like threatening to go get their torches and pitchforks.
Okay. Oh, so the
receivers
griever
of the bereavement.
Okay.
The grieve receiver.
Why are we having this conversation on a
I don't know.
podcast?
I'm just saying. That's the price for not listening to the people that you feed upon. If you don't listen to them when they say enough is enough, then they have to demonstrate the power of enough is enough. And I'm not out here breeding fucking violent anarchy or any garbage like that. It's not what I'm talking about. Just, folks.
Very passive anarchy.
Very
very
passive. Very.
Like, why don't you just pass the doob and everybody be happy and we'll
Let's
just talk about it, man.
But when talking stops working, what's next?
I've heard somebody I know, and I don't know. Like, I can't be specific as to who that person is.
And I'm not saying talking has stopped working.
But I've heard somebody reference the words bullets flying.
That's not what I would say. When it comes to healthcare, I don't think that bullets are the next logical step. I don't think that. What I do think is that it's time that our healthcare providers stopped fucking the entire race of humans in this country. I think it's ridiculous. Stop it. Knock it off.
We need to add dry.
Let's make the hospitals good, make the doctors good, make the pill companies can make a bunch of money, but let's do this with some ethical boundaries, folks. Let's just be ethical.
As we've discussed on this show, capitalism doesn't necessarily breed ethical behavior.
According to the Pope, you can have capitalism and ethics, and it's what's missing. And I
God, is that segue sexy? Look
actually
at that.
agree with the Pope on this.
Oh my God, was that smooth?
You
Go
like
on.
that?
Yeah,
That's very nice.
I like that.
The Pope.
Pope
Folks.
Saint Francis the Bomb.
Pope Francis the Bomb. I like it. That's got a very simple. I like it. El Bamo, because he speaks.
Is he Spanish?
Yeah.
Is he Spanish?
Yeah, he speaks Spanish as his first language. Pope Francis recently said something just magnificent, and this has nothing to do with economic stuff, although it kind of does. Hang in there.
Yeah.
The Pope recently.
We could backcheck that last week because we did Pope economics last week.
Did we?
Yeah, Pope's cracking down on Vatican's
the wasteful
money.
spending. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. He recently signaled that he could see the Catholic Church tolerating some forms of same-sex civil unions, but not marriage. In an interview with the Italian news source, with an Italian news source, Pope Francis said, quote, "Matrimony is between a man and a woman, but moves to regulate diverse situations of cohabitation are driven by the need to regulate economic aspects among persons, as for instance to ensure medical care." What the Pope is saying.
He built a loophole.
What the Pope is saying is that marriage, matrimony, holy matrimony is between a man and a woman. And I'll tell you what, holy matrimony is between a man and a woman. I'm sorry to tell you that actually I just recently have been reading the Bible, so I know that that's actually in there. I don't agree with it.
The words are in the Bible. There's no question.
The Pope
You're right.
is
Yes.
factually correct on this. Matrimony is between a man and a woman. And for the Pope, this is a very...
In a Catholic church.
In the Pope.
In the Catholic Church,
In
though.
the Catholic Church.
We're talking about...
We're not talking about Protestants or Presbyterians or Lutherans or any of those people.
Different people have different rules.
Yeah, we're talking about Catholics.
Yeah, okay.
But all the other Christian forms generally follow what the Catholic Church does in a loose way.
And I know you know that. I just wanted to specify that for the listeners' sake.
The fact that the Pope is willing to even say that
he's halfway okay with it.
The church could grow to tolerate same-sex civil unions. All right. Now, when your state tells you that a same-sex civil union is the same thing as a marriage, you are right to disagree with that. However, if your religion tells you that it's it's a different but equal thing, you have to eat that because you chose your religion. Your state is your state. It's yours as much as it is mine. It has to respect our wishes. But your church, well, that's their rules, man. They're a free enterprise. They can have that rule. They can say that it's between a man and a woman, and they can point to their only documentation of evidence that they have and say that's the rules, and that's the rules. But the fact that the Pope is willing to be like...
it's a private party, man. You don't have to join.
The fact that the Pope is out saying that there are reasons to allow same-sex unions, that's super wonderful. That is super duper good.
Yeah, let's just brush all over all the controversial bullshit.
Yeah,
and just let's go to the positive side of the spin.
The real effect of this is tolerance,
progress,
and progress. Well, tolerance begets progress.
Tolerance
begets tolerance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Progress, man. It's progress. It's moving towards. It's one of the things that has been a foothold of the past, moving towards the future.
Yeah.
Instead of holding on to the way things used to be.
Yeah, if you want
because
progress,
that doesn't fucking apply anymore.
You have to be tolerant.
You have to move forward.
Yeah.
And that's part of moving forward because we all move towards tolerance.
But you have to know when to be tolerant. There are things that you shouldn't tolerate, too. You know?
But you have to be able to evolve and adapt.
Like dead baby jokes.
Exactly.
Shouldn't tolerate those. They're evil and hilarious.
But it should evolve and move and change. And that's one of the Catholic Church is at least the symbol or a symbol of one of the last bastions of holding on to the past and refusing to admit that to make things better, we need to go with it.
Their refusal to admit that, it seems short-sighted, and it...
I get the motivation.
It probably could have been better, but without them, it would have been worse.
I get the motivation, but I truly believe that the way we're moving is part of the evolution of our species.
Corey, I hate to break it to you, but we're sitting down.
Okay, thank you. Our technology isn't a replacement. It's part of the evolution of our species.
Yeah.
So is the way we view things, the social standards we set, the world becoming tribal to state to country. It's moving into a world direction of a global community. The internet connected people in China instantly.
Globalization is a real thing.
Yeah, it moved from tribes in the steppe of 100 to 200 localized people to the point where now we're working towards a world community.
Yes.
I'm in a blink of an eye in the grand spectrum of time. It's all part of the evolution. And I think people that are always holding back onto the past and the way things used to be are swimming upstream. And the Republicans.
Don't point fingers.
Well, that's one of their biggest standpoints is we got to go back to the way things used to be.
I am a Republican that doesn't think that except about the pussification of children. I think that is an area where we need to go back to the way things used to be, where children weren't pussies. But I don't think the way things used to be was super either, because then children were racist bigots because their parents were.
A part of evolution and part of learning things is fixing things that aren't broken and realizing that you fixed something that wasn't broken and going back to the old way. And I use the hydrogen peroxide example.
I'm going to continue to use hydrogen peroxide.
You can't convince me it doesn't do anything. But besides that, we went a million ways, up and down, left and right, for disinfecting wounds. But guess what still works? The old-fashioned ways.
Hydrogen peroxide.
Alcohol.
Yeah. Oh, alcohol.
Sir, particularly.
That's my favorite thing.
Works. It works.
Yes, it does.
It's still you can
it's
improve.
Working now.
You can fix something that's not broken. But sometimes you go backwards, and that's part of it. Is going back and admitting, okay, that was good. We'll just do that the way, and then we'll focus our energies on something else that's not already as good as it can be.
In an unrelated instance, the Pope also dropped an air quotes F-bomb in a public address.
Faggot? I thought we were just talking about being tolerant of the faggots.
No, that's hate speech.
You said F-bomb.
We're not talking about bundles of sticks here, Corey.
Oh, no?
We're talking about the fuck word.
Oh, fuck?
Actually, we're not.
That's the F word?
He actually said cazzo. In Italian, he meant to say caso in Italian. The difference is important, but it's a pretty common thing for people to screw up when it's, Italian's not there.
So he accidentally said fuck.
Like, listen careful. He said cazzo. He should have said caso. It's very, very similar. But
so he said fuck instead of truck.
But cazzo is like, that's the Italian F-bomb. Swear words don't really translate directly, but it's like, we have the F word, they have the C word. That's the one.
And I'd like to introduce the brand new gifted firefuck to the third company.
I will tell you.
It's basically the slip up he made.
What I actually have the exact mistake he made. And what he was actually saying is terrific. It is a wonderful word to the people of man. I mean, it's great. This Pope, everything he says, I'm pretty happy with because he says it well. You're right. I do have to stop hitting the back of my mic. This is what the Pope meant to say. If each one of us does not amass riches only for oneself, but half for the services of others, in this case, the providence of God will become visible through his...
Huh now? What? You hurt your what now?
I'm sorry, through his gesture of solidarity. I'm a terrible typer when I'm writing news stories, and I really threw myself off with my spelling of gesture. There's a lot of
jester involved in this? Where are the king's men?
Caso means case. So in this case, the providence of God. He said, in this fuck, the providence of God.
In this fuck, the providence of God gives you a great big erection.
Yeah, it definitely changes the meaning of what he was saying, but like the point of what he was saying
was not intentional.
Was, it sounds like what he's talking about is being charitable. Because he says, if each one of us does not amass riches, so if we all don't just go to work to amass riches for just us, but we also use half of them for the services of others, in this case, the providence of God will become visible. But what he's not saying if we gave half to charity, he's saying if we spent just half. Rich fucks that sit on your cash. If you're making too much cash to spend half of it, you're making too much cash. That's what the Pope is saying here. If you can't find a way to spend half your cash that you make on your income, you are making too much income. The people that are dependent on you for their income, you should pay them more.
Spread the wealth.
Yeah.
What a communist the fucking Pope is.
I know. I love the way he frames it, though. I know. The way he frames it up is terrific.
Me and Bill had from A Podcast. And
Who's Bill?
My co-host in A Podcast, the podcast.
Wait a minute. You're making another podcast?
Oh, you just found that out?
You're cheating on me?
It's been like 22 weeks.
You're a slut.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
I'm a terrible slut.
I knew that. I'm making it up.
I'm a terrible slut. We had this conversation, and unfortunately, we had it in a car, so there were no mics. But he was asking about the Star Trek currency system, the resource-based, non-currency.
They were prepared to trade for currency if it needed to happen.
But they were just the Earth system was a non-currency based. Resource-based system.
Yeah.
And he was asking all sorts of questions about why isn't it feasible, blah, 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 blah.
It's not feasible to me. I don't think.
At the moment, it's not feasible.
No,
I think the
you're
future
right. All right,
holds.
yeah, sure. But by the 25th century, I don't think.
And as I explained to him, technology. Technology is what's going to bring that about.
Yeah, because
when
they
everything
just replicate whatever.
So easy to make, there's no scarcity.
Replicator,
money's not worth anything.
Make me an iPad. All right. Well, then why are we working anymore?
And then that's when you see things like what you said change. So maybe it's not so bad because that's very communist. I pointed that out to Bill. He's like, well, like if you were good at something, wouldn't you just do that because you like to do that? Probably, Bill. Yeah.
I'm really good at sitting around and watching TV and playing video games.
You'd find that wouldn't have so much happen because you'd have so much free time. Not building canals and cars.
I'm a level 170 mage. I'm a dark elf.
You know why people do that? Because it's distraction.
Do you know how many arrows I made today?
I gotta save up my magic points.
No, I don't work at Gander Mountain. I'm an elf. A dark elf.
I will curse you! I will curse you through the interwebs. You were talking about the Pope.
I was.
Saying fuck.
I was done talking about the Pope.
About the redistribution of wealth, and I was explaining to Bill, and I just wanted to say that I explained to Bill that Star Trek were a bunch of communists like the Pope.
What do you think, Corey?
That's a synopsis.
Star Trek was a bunch of communists like the Pope.
Pope. That's synapses right there, pal.
Wow, that's reaching. That's a broad statement. Sweeping.
And a show title.
I don't know. That's a little long. That's a lot of syllables for a title. What do you think, Corey? Do you think it's break and then come back for some Twitter? Or I'm sorry, some small talk?
No, let's just wrap it. We'll do the small talk on the side because we got planning to do.
No, man. What? No, you want to talk about Arrow? I want to talk about the book I'm reading.
All right, fine.
There's more show here.
Sure, fine. Okay.
Let's
fine.
Let's go to break. Folks, we're going to break. We'll see you on the other side.
Don't touch that dial.
Average white man. We will now administer the tests for the Rorschach inkblot test, Father. Now, I am going to hold up a series of cards, and you cannot take too long to answer. You have to answer immediately, right? When I show you the card, you will answer. Here is the first card.
Right, you naughty bastard. Oh!
Quickly.
Like a supple young boy.
Okay, so and then this one here?
Also like a supple young boy.
And this one?
Oh, it looks like a young boy behind me.
And this one?
I don't recognize that at all.
How did my daughter's picture get in here again? I think you are having some issues with the young boys.
I don't see enough of them.
Just to answer the question, how many young boys can you get under your robe there?
Oh, exactly 3.
Join Pat Sevens and Roy Q. Gordon every Monday for a new episode of Average White Men.
Thank you for listening to Airwreck Radio. What did you want to talk about? Something about the world history, the history of the world?
Yeah, so I've been reading the Bible,
Yes.
because like I wanted to find Jesus. I was born knowing where Jesus was and decided that like Jesus is cool, the church not so much. But the church is getting cooler, but I'm not like drinking the Kool-Aid about it. I like history so much. And so much of history has to do with the Bible and its interpretations. And I wanted to have it's this great source material, the Bible, and I wanted to have that source material to hand. But it gets a little fucking crazy about 4 chapters in, man. The book of Moses goes all over the place with a bunch of numbers, and that's a whole book. It's called Numbers. It's about a census. It is the dullest thing you are ever likely. It was worse than The Catcher in the Rye. It was horrible, Corey.
Well,
but I stuck it out, man. I stuck it out because I wanted to have an idea of how many people were in the world. It was about 275,000 or more. It was a lot. There was a fair amount of people. It was more than that, actually. It was like 4 or 5 times the number of that. And that was just the Jews. There was a lot of people. Anyway, Numbers sucked. Very boring. Leviticus, super boring. Kind of skimmed it a little bit.
And kind of, Leviticus is very dark.
Oh, my God.
Very negative.
You shall not eat the flesh of the animal who is cloven, hoofed, but does not chew the cud. Only he who chews the cud is clean to you, and you shall eat it. It's a difficult read, the Bible. It's difficult.
It's not fun.
I have had a lot of fun, actually. The book of Genesis I had a lot of fun with, but we talked about that last week.
Yes, we did.
I had to take a break. I got into
break.
I got into Deuteronomy.
Oh, you're cruising right along.
And I had to take a break, man. Mm-hmm. I needed a break. So I bought a brief history of nearly everything.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be a history book about natural history, and it is, but it's also a history book about the science of discovery of the various natural histories. So, it's about the Big Bang and how that shit turned into what we got now, but it's also about how we discovered that shit. So it's
I got what you're saying.
It's very good. So I learned in this book, in a science book of all things, when the Bible actually says everything started. Corey, aren't you curious about when everything actually started?
Yes.
I like your enthusiasm.
You're welcome.
According to the Bible...
Stacy, when did everything start?
I'll tell you, Corey, because I did the computations myself. That's not true. I read a book and it told me, and I believed it.
Loser.
October the 23rd, 4004 BC, right about midday.
Bullshit.
No, that's what the Bible says.
Oh, okay, bullshit.
I mean, you can disagree that is not... Are you saying that the Bible doesn't
bullshit.
say that? Or are you saying that that's probably not how it really happened?
I don't care what the fuck the Bible says. That's not what happened. Bullshit.
Okay, no, that's fine. As long as we are in agreement that that's what the Bible says.
Yeah. The Bible says lots of funny things.
It sure does. Did you know a serpent talked to the only lady ever who was made out of the only man ever's rib? And
just to make up for the
serpent got turned into a snake for that treachery. Did you know that? Bible is a weird book, man. In more hopeful news, in the 1800s, Reverend Buckland said that the Bible does not specify that God made heaven and earth on the first day, and I looked this up myself. That's correct. The Bible only says in the beginning. It says, in the beginning, God said, let there be light. And he created this and that. And, hold on, I actually have the quote. The light and the darkness were separated, and that was the evening, and the morning was the first day. That's how the Bible goes.
Okay.
Evening and so there's no saying how long the beginning actually was. This actually lends a little bit of credence to the Bible as an origin story that a reasonable thinking person could wrap their heads around, because
metaphorically speaking,
until the first morning of man, effectively nothing happened for us, for men. Metaphorically speaking.
Metaphorically speaking, I get what you're saying.
And then the evening and the morning were the first day.
That would require some ability to recognize and agree with metaphor.
A reverend said this.
Which most of the...
In the 19th century, of all things.
You know what the Cosmo show I watched?
About the suckiest transformer ever?
Yes, that's the one. A big chunk of that was about, and I can't fucking remember his name now, but about a believer that roamed across Europe. A believer.
A Justin Bieber fan.
That roamed across Europe, spreading the word of an infinite universe solely because he believed in an infinite God. And he had a dream that we rotated around the Earth, or the Earth rotated around the sun, that there was millions of suns with Earths just like Earth.
Who said that?
I can't think of his fucking name.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I can't.
Okay.
But he roamed Europe spreading this word until he ended up getting...
A person said that.
Yes.
The person about a person.
Exactly. I'm glad you pick up the scheme of the podcast name there.
Yeah, no, man, I know how to drop a plug, dude. Don't you worry.
He wound up in prison for his efforts, of course, because the Catholics said limited universe.
Can I tell you something that really made me have to take a break from the Bible?
Feel free, sir.
So, in Deuteronomy, Moses says to the people, and when Moses says to the people, you are to assume that it's God telling Moses. That's how it's taken. If there should, now I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but I'm going to do my best to be biblical about it. If there should rise among you a prophet who dreams or speaks the word of another God, and he beckons you to another God, that is a test in your love
for this
me,
God.
For I am a jealous, for your God is a jealous God. So,
that was me.
So, God's saying if somebody starts telling you of portents and signs and it's about a different God, that's just a test that he's put there for you to make sure that you're faithful. Okay, that's cool. I guess you're a dick, God, because
You are
like
a dick.
you make your prophet, your
dick
original prophet Abram, go around telling people that his wife is his sister, which is true, but is not like straight on the up and up to say. But whatever. All right, you like testing people. Fine, God, that's cool. It then goes on to say that dreamer of dreams should be stoned to death for trying to lure you to a false god.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So God made that guy have false dreams. This is what God tells the people. I made that guy have false dreams, and you better kill him.
In order to test his faith.
Because I came to him as a god, claiming to be another god than myself, convinced him of that, made him perform miracles as a test of everyone else's faith. So you should kill him. Old Testament God is a dick bag.
Bad. Oh my God.
Bag
is he
of
bad.
dicks.
Which story does this sound familiar?
How anybody cannot like see that and be like, this is not, something's wrong here. This isn't how a deity should behave.
Wasn't there an ancient religion? It was a multi-god religion, where the
Greek,
the king of the gods,
Zeus,
used to like to go down
and
fuck
the women of the land. Yeah,
and fuck with anything.
Yeah, Zeus was he was a weirdo,
fucking asswipe.
These days, Zeus would.
A lot of that sounds like something Zeus would do. He'd come down and pretend to be a god other than himself.
Sounds like something
Just
Zeus would do. Is the name of this episode.
Come down, fuck with somebody, make them believe that he's another god than himself, and then, haha, fuck you, asshole.
You're
an
get stoned to
asswipe.
death. And then later on, we know this. I haven't gotten to the New Testament, but I know this story. Later on, he makes a prophet tell people that the only person who should cast the stone is he who has no sin. So these earlier prophets got stoned to death, not like high, but like stoned to death.
Oh,
They got
was
stoned,
like, yeah.
killed, murdered by their fellow man with stone. Because God hadn't yet told these people that only people without sin should cast stones. But later on he would.
He just hadn't gotten around to telling them
through
yet.
Jesus. And Corey, I just cannot understand how fundamentalism works in this aspect.
I don't understand fundamentalism like in the time. Like maybe in the tiniest I do, but I'm very give me a reason why. I have a hard time with fundamentalism.
Man, I'm trying to see their side of the story, but it's just he's an omnipotent God.
Yeah. What? Huh?
That's cool. All right, if there's going to be a God...
I know, you already lost me, dude.
He should be omnipotent. No, I'm willing to go... Well, fine, you're lost, but I'm ready to go that step. If he is a God, he must be omnipotent. Well, if he's omnipotent, why is he so short-sighted as to make people that then turn wicked and he has to flood them out?
If your argument was a being that was so more advanced, it seemed omnipotent to a lesser advanced species, I guess I could maybe... Like, your dog pretty much thinks you know everything.
Well, that God probably is like that, though. Like...
Well, I mean... Like, he couldn't... It wouldn't... You lost me at omniscient, but near omniscient, like, appears to be omniscient,
All
I
right.
can more buy.
If you wanted to pick a nit, that's the nit to pick.
I don't know. I don't know. That's where you kind of lose me, and I just kind of want to try
It's
to
not
get on the
me,
board
dude.
with the rest
This
of
isn't
people.
my idea that I'm attached to. It's just I try to be.
Well, maybe that's part of the short-sighted God. He's supposed to be omniscient, but he's short-sighted. Maybe it's just because it appears omniscient, but truly not.
Maybe. But my question is to the faithful. How can you be faithful of this? That's my question. Is like, how can you not have these questions that I have?
It's a stacked deck. You're asking the wrong room.
I know
you know
that.
What I mean?
I know that.
I can't argue their side effectively because I have no passion for it.
So, in my break, I read a science history book. And in this science history book, I have found the saddest tale of a scientist who never, ever made it. Would you like to hear the tale of this guy's woes? Oh, my God. This poor guy. In 1761, Guillaume Le Gentil went from France to witness the solar transit of Venus. A little background here. Venus transits the sun. That's when that passes. It's when Venus eclipses the sun as you watch from Earth. We had one in 2004 and again in 2012. And we won't have one again for another 150 years or so. Because that's how it goes. It happens twice, 8 years apart. And then it doesn't happen for another 150 years and change. It's a weird thing, the transit of Venus. So, in 1761, I don't know how to say Seigneur in France. So, Seigneur Le Gentil, he went from France to India.
Oh, all right.
This is quite a trip in
very
1761.
Exotic India.
Yeah, very exotic. I mean, it's difficult to travel to India in 1760. You couldn't fly.
Yeah, no. You
had to take a boat.
You took a boat, and then you took a horse on
Probably
a carriage.
through the Mediterranean Sea, through the Dead Sea, the Red Sea. I don't know.
No, Dead Sea's north.
Into the China Sea.
I don't know.
To India. I don't know how you would get
I'm
there.
not good at geography.
But I bet it was a difficult journey. In fact, later in this story, I will show you how it was a difficult journey.
I'm not good at many things. Geography being one of them.
Guillaume Le Gentil left a year ahead of time, but his ship was waylaid constantly for various reasons, and so he was still at sea when the first transit occurred. Because the precision required for his calculations could not be achieved hurling about at sea, Le Gentil was forced to wait another 8 years for the next transit. He continued on his way to India 8 years ahead of time now because he missed the first transit. So he waited for 8 years in India. While he was there, and this is a quote from the book, he erected a first-rate viewing station, tested and retested his instruments, and had everything in a state of perfect readiness. On the morning of the second transit, June the 4th, 1769, he awoke to a fine day, but just as Venus began its pass, a cloud slid in front of the sun and remained there for almost exactly the duration of the transit, 3 hours, 14 minutes, and 7 seconds. End quote. Le Gentil set off to return to France and contracted dysentery. He spent the next year...
At first I missed it, and then I got robbed of it, and now I'm going to shit myself to death.
He spent the next year laid up and embarked on another ship, which was nearly wrecked in a hurricane.
While I'm shitting myself to death.
No. He spent a year getting over the dysentery and then got on another ship on his way back to France to return to his family and friends. Got almost wrecked by a hurricane. When he finally returned home 11 and a half years after setting off and having achieved nothing scientifically.
Zero.
Not a thing.
Zilch.
Missed both transits. He found that his family had him declared him dead and enthusiastically plundered his estate.
I'm going to take a go watch too, Pops.
This is a story I found in Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything. It is a terrific read.
First you fail, then you get sick, then you find out you're not dead, but you got nothing.
This poor fuck. This poor guy. He was trying to use the current math of the time to triangulate the distance of Venus and the Earth. It might have been the mass of Venus, or it might have been the distance.
Okay.
But it was super lofty stuff in the day, and he didn't even. The first time he got to see it, at least, but he couldn't make his measurements. The second time, he had
nothing.
8 years he spent in India, having built this terrific laboratory to view this event.
Ruined by a cloud.
And a fucking cloud just happened to be in the way. And this is the 1700s, dude. So there's not like a million other camera phones taking video of this. He missed that shit. That sucks.
Gone.
However,
gone with the wind.
Roughly 250 other scientists were also doing this work. And because there was so many of them and their data sets were so mixed, there was no way to reconcile the data. The transit, this whole transit went to prove nothing. We missed it. But
I hope the more modern transit.
But at least we tried.
Oh
my God, the most recent transit, we learned a lot that we already knew. Like by now, we know the distances, and we right after 1761, things really started progressing in calculating the distance in space. We didn't know the mass of Earth until the 50s.
That makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised. And you wouldn't surprise me if I found out 10 years from now we were wrong. The math was wrong. We missed a decimal point.
In 10 years from now, we will find out that it was wrong, but it'll be like a minuscule amount. It won't be...
Yeah, no.
It won't be huge. Did you know at the turn of the last century, they thought... Everybody was convinced that all the science was done. There were no new discoveries to be had. We figured
it out.
They'd figured out what an atom was, sort of, and thought that was it. They were done. It turned out wrong, obviously. That's not what happened. But those are the two fun stories that I had out of that awesome book that I've been reading instead of the Bible while I'm on break from the Bible.
Woo! I've been soaking my head with dumb shit.
Television.
Yes.
You've been watching television.
And now I've even lost the heart for it, but I've been watching. We'll run over it quickly.
That's why I wanted to do it earlier while you were ready and into it.
Arrow.
A show about a man who wears dark green. Have you made it to the point where he wears a mask yet, or is he just in eyeshadow?
Eyeshadow still.
Okay. He gets a mask.
Okay, that's good.
It's like Robin's mask.
I have a lot. That's one of the things that annoy me. This dude is terrible at keeping his secret identity secret.
Absolutely awful. You are correct, sir. Arrow.
Everybody knows who the fuck this guy is.
Anybody who wants to know can know, except that fucking cop, man. He can't get a clue. He's always talking to Oliver and just never knows.
We got 3-4 people on the team, the best friend, and I'm only halfway through the first season.
Oh, my goodness.
We got 3-4 people on the team, the best friend, a bad guy knows who the fuck we are.
Who's the best friend?
Jimmy, the nightclub manager.
Oh, the brother of, the son of the...
Well, the bad guy, of the other archer.
Oh, you know that.
Yes.
Okay.
I
want to be careful to not ruin
you
things.
Don't ruin things for me.
I don't mind ruin things for the listener as long as we do it together, but I don't want to ruin that shit for you because it's a pretty its plot twists are calculated very carefully. It's
the son of the other archer.
Yeah.
So that's one thing is with his secret identity. That annoys me.
Yeah.
Everybody and his brother knows who the fuck this guy is at this point. Why isn't it in the media? And if you watch the episode, like the very first episode, this dude decides that he's going to be a superhero before he gets off the raft onto the island he should have died on.
Yeah.
On the raft, he's like, I'm going to avenge my father's list. There's no reason for him to suspect at that point that he was getting off that island. In my opinion.
He was on a raft. He was already off the island.
No, on the way to the island. The boat sank. He hasn't made it to the island yet.
Oh, really?
And he decides that he's going to use this list in his monologue. He decides he's going to use this list to avenge his father's.
By season 3, or season 2, the beginning of the show changes. So
Okay. But this guy decides he's a superhero, like way before he has any training, thinks he's going to survive, has any reason to exist. No, he's already decided he's going to be a superhero.
Okay.
He should have been long since back in Sterling City before he was like,
No.
In order to avenge my father appropriately, I'm going to have to become a superhero.
Oh, dude, no.
Take on Yao Fang's.
You see all the stuff that happens on the island. You'll understand. Promise. That's the
either way, it doesn't matter.
Did you know that? It's the island from Lost.
Okay. No, I didn't know that.
So there's a smoke monster and everything.
Either way,
that's
it
not
doesn't
true.
matter. He shouldn't be he's not even on the island with his dead father yet. He's still in the raft with the dead bodies.
Oh, you haven't seen any of the island stuff?
Yes, I have.
Oh.
My argument is that in the very first episode,
okay,
he's not even on the island.
Yeah.
With the dead body of his father before he decides he's going to use this list.
Well, that's because he's telling his story, man. It's future omniscient.
No, it's not. He's okay. Whatever. I'm not.
I'm
not
sorry.
gonna,
Maybe you're right. You might be right. I'm not going to say that you're not right, but I'm willing to suspend my disbelief for a man whose identity is hid behind mascara.
What? That's another problem. Like fucking it's mascara. What? It's eyeliner.
He does the Batman thing too, where he talks like this when he's the Arrow.
Well, he's got the little doohickey that does it for him.
Sure he does.
He's got a little modulator.
Yeah, and everybody on Star Trek is wearing a communicator, and that's why their lips move right for English. Sure.
I don't remember anymore. Oh, and I like the fact that it's a long season. It's the old-fashioned 24.
It is a long season. I like
it's
that.
a 24-episode season, which is very old-fashioned, very 80s.
Yes.
Now everything is 13.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
13 episodes in a season?
yeah, roughly, usually.
That's way less than what we do in a season.
Way less.
We don't take a week off.
No, sure don't. And my last thing was a positive review. See, I hated this whole segment now. I just should have killed it. Was the character development of Arrow. How he's become calmer. He slowly becomes more calculated and less lethal.
He really moves into it very well. And by the second season, he goes completely non-lethal.
Okay.
Which I like.
Which makes him a DC comic book hero. That's
well, I mean, he can't be a hero and fucking murdering people, dude. It's like because that's what it is. He's murdering people.
He just puts arrows in people for no reason.
Well, for reasons, but some of them are just like street thugs, and he's sticking arrows in them.
In the beginning of that shit, that dude was just laying arrows out.
That's our show. Da da
And
da da
that's-
da da. Bop.
It's late in the afternoon, the sun rising high. There's nothing to do around here, and if there was, well, I wouldn't try. Taking my comforts, taking good care of me. Sitting down in my easy chair, taking a sip of my sassafras tea. Now wouldn't you know it, there goes the phone again. It's probably just another wrong number, but someone tried to sell me something I can't even see. Well, I got the solution, how to deal with this insanity. Just sit down in my easy chair and take a big sip of my sassafras tea. It's getting near evening, the sun going down. I guess I should shake a leg, climb in my car and roll downtown. Check out the city lights, all decked out in a tux and a tie. But I'm sitting in my easy chair, taking a sip of my sassafras tea. Now wouldn't you know it, oh, here come my neighbor Jim. He got the willies and the worries on his mind, and the weight of the world putting pressure on his spine. Well, I got the solution, I know how to set him free. Set glass of brass tea.